From the only station working for you, this is RTV6 Good Morning Indiana.
Breaking now at 6:30, an elderly woman dies in a house fire. Details on the rescue attempts that left one firefighter injured.
Doesn't make sense. Fix it. Should have been one school shooting, and we should have fixed it.
Taking the fight to lawmakers, students bringing gun reform right to the White House. The plans by the president to address their concerns.
Slow down and look for big holes in the road because they're out there.
Potholes plaguing drivers. Overnight, more than a dozen drivers stranded. The plan to get those roads back up to speed. It is 6:30 here on a Storm Team 6 alert day. Thanks for starting your day with us here at RTV6. I'm Lauren Casey. Kyle Mounts joins me. We have radar behind us. This is a familiar sight this week.
Yeah, we've had to use it quite a bit along with the umbrella out there. You're going to need that this morning and again tomorrow morning and then into Saturday. So, yeah, the theme here, it's starting to sound like a broken record. We continue with these off and on rain chances. And you can see we've got one batch of rain that's moving out, another that's starting to move into northwestern areas. So let's take you on a little bit of a radar tour here. There's a few of those showers as we go through the mid-morning. Elena.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. As you are taking to the roads, just a few things to point out to you. In Hendricks County, we have a crash on I-74 at State Road 267. We have a crash on the east side, Emerson Avenue, just south of Washington.
Elena, thank you. We are tracking several breaking stories this morning. First, an elderly woman dies after a house fire on Indianapolis's north side. This all happening around 2:30 this morning near 38th Street and Capitol Avenue. A firefighter hurt his knee trying to get that woman out of the house. There's no word yet on what started this fire. Now, this is the fourth fire death in the metro area so far this year. And a collision on Indy's east side leaves a man in critical condition. Here's what we know right now. This all happened around 3:30 this morning near Michigan Street and Dearborn Street. Police say that a man has a broken leg. Officers say the driver there was not impaired and no action will be taken against that driver. Breaking news on Indianapolis's south side. Fire crews here are wrapping up a fire investigation at a machine shop. The fire was in the 400 block of West Raymond Street. Now, we have learned that the people inside that building found the fire. We can also tell you that no one was hurt. And new from overnight, the pothole problem here in Indy continues to trouble drivers. More than a dozen drivers forced to the side of I-70 because of those potholes. Now, this is video of the drivers near the North Split. Officers there and tow truck drivers, even INDOT crews working overnight to get this area fixed before the morning rush hour. One driver says it could have been even worse.
I thought I blew out 2 tires. There's a big hole right in the middle of the road. I called the state police and reported it. You know, it's a dangerous road out here because everybody's blowing out tires. Something wrong.
Now, the Department of Public Works is planning a pothole blitz starting next week. And damage from potholes becoming an all too familiar sight for drivers here in Indianapolis. Our Nicole Griffin is live with us this morning to help you with that problem. Nicole, good morning.
Yeah, Lauren, good morning. Not just a problem for drivers in Indianapolis. We're actually here in Fishers where 1, 2, 3 cars behind me are here at Firestone in Fishers because of pothole damage to their tires. Joining us live this morning, Steve Bredeman. You have a wheel here. Tell us what happened here to this tire.
Well, I think this driver hit multiple potholes. You can see we've got kind of damage on multiple sides of the wheel. And unfortunately for this customer, the wheel had to be replaced to kind of return the vehicle to a safe driving condition.
What are some of the common issues you're seeing aside from just flat tires?
Again, subsequent wheel damage. But again, one of the things that we also want to be aware of is suspension damage, possible broken springs, control arms. That's why it's best if any doubt after you've hit a pothole, bring your car into your automotive or tire professional, let them look at it, and let them check for any hidden damages or dangers. And it's not a cheap fix. I know you were showing us a car down there, $1,300 just to fix the spring. Absolutely, yeah. Potholes can be damaging and costly, but again, it's safety issues as well, and we want to make sure all our customers, but also motorists out there are being safe with their vehicles. So if you hit a pothole and you suspect there's any issue with your car, get it checked out. Good advice. Thank you so much for joining us, Steve, this morning. Let's go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio.
Nicole, thank you. It is 6:35. Pushing for a change. Florida students are looking to use a school shooting to fight gun reform. Today, President Trump is set to talk about school safety with state and local leaders. He told students and parents yesterday that his team was getting right to work on a solution. The president promised change during the listening session. He talked about possibly arming teachers, and he said that he'd like stronger background checks. Now, since the Florida shooting, officers here in Indiana have been closely monitoring potential school threats. In just a week, there have been more than a half dozen arrests for those. Now, police say at least 2 people have been arrested over the past few days for sending threatening social media messages about Columbus East High School. Police say that there will be extra officers at that school over the next few days. And this morning, the recent shooting in Florida and school threats here in central Indiana could have your kids asking some questions about their safety. Our Aaron Lish is live to explain the best way to talk about these school shootings with your children. Aaron, what do we need to know?
Well, in the weeks following this tragedy, we all have questions, and your kids may come to you for guidance between television, social media, and just talking with friends. Social workers say it's hard to hide these images from them. He says that this is real, this is reality, even though it is very scary. He says, CEO David Seiler says it's normal to be concerned just because of how traumatic this situation was. He says answer questions appropriately to their kids, depending on their age. If they're 4 or 14, you're going to have to base it off of that. And if they do have questions, please try to answer them. He says take action. Let them sign petitions. Let them raise money, even pray, whatever they feel most comfortable with. He also says pay attention to their behavior. They may seem a little bit different, a little off, maybe a little quieter than normal. So pay attention to those signs following these types of tragedies.
It can really almost be a minor trauma for kids, and we really need to pay attention to that. Some kids have this kind of easygoing spirit and will roll with it and not seem as affected, but what's really important for parents is just to pay attention.
To help avoid these situations like these, Seiler says monitor your child's social media. He believes many of times there are signs that show there is an issue going on. Seiler also says, maybe your kid sees another kid at lunch sitting alone. Maybe befriend them. A big thing over at Families First is their new hashtag out there, making courtesy common. He says if you befriend somebody, try to be kind to them, it can change their entire outlook of their life. Reporting live, Aaron Lish, RTV6.
Aaron, thank you. Well, this morning, a grieving widow is calling this new political ad disgusting. Deborah Monroe's husband, Jeffrey, was killed while working as an Uber driver. An undocumented immigrant is accused of driving drunk, killing Monroe and Colts player Edwin Jackson on I-70. Republican candidate for U.S. Senate Mike Braun mentioned the deaths in this new radio and TV ad. Monroe says that her husband hated discussing politics and would not want to be used for a political advantage.
It's pretty bad when you got to stoop that low, but you don't have a right to take other people's misery to use it for your own political gain. That's wrong. That's just downright wrong.
Monroe is now looking into what she can do to have this ad pulled. We reached out to the Braun campaign for a response to Mrs. Monroe's request to remove the ad. So far, we have not heard back. Now, the recent round of heavy rain leading to trouble all across the state of Indiana. Up here in Carroll County, it's a similar story near the Oakdale Dam. Now, you can see by these pictures that the water is making it hard for people to leave their homes. And then here in Indianapolis, the wet weather is leading to this. The retaining wall collapsing on Indy's north side. The debris here blocking the sidewalk. This is at 21st Street in Illinois. Thankfully, we can tell you no one was hurt, but this is causing a lot of problems for drivers, as you can tell. We do want to check in with Kyle Mounts here. He's in our tracking center. Kyle, we know we do have some school delays out there, mostly to our north, so that's likely due to the flooding.
Yeah, there's about 6 delays right now on the Indy channel and the RTV6 app, so check those out this morning. We've got some rain. Temperatures have been working in our favor, so we're dealing with rain here.
Kyle, thank you. Plans are in the works to say goodbye to America's pastor. Details on his funeral and Billy Graham's Indiana ties.
And hey, we think it's more fun to drive 35 miles from Indianapolis than it is to drive 120 miles to some other park in some other city.
A Central Indiana amusement park didn't go as planned. Just ahead in our Throwback Thursday segment, we'll explain what derailed this project. Time now is 6:41. Good morning, Indiana. We'll be right back.